Hello and welcome to the best of Coach RIX Winners. On Coach RIX Winners, we focus on the absolute best in athletes, not just on the court, but off the court as well. Yes, Coach RIX Winners, we're really focusing on developing leadership and character in our young athletes. And today, we're really honored to have our guest who is a transformed athlete into an IT specialist. He's Mr. Randle Carter Sr. Mr. Carter is the founder of Mentoring Youth Through Technology. And he hails originally from the Memphis area. He has been in business in the Chicago area for a number of years. So, Mr. Carter, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
It's certainly a pleasure, and we're really excited because technology is something that I'm really excited about, and we know that you tend to not think in terms of an athlete and technology in the same sentence. So, without further ado, if you'll just tell us some things about you, your background, and then we'll talk a bit more about technology. So tell us some things about you.
Well, I have about 20 years of experience in technology. I started my own technology consulting firm about 13 years ago, and started mentoring youth through technology about 3.5 years ago, where I train youth on hands-on technology skills, whether it's robotics, coding, graphic design, web design, hands-on skills for youth, our youth.
Well, that's the wave of the future, because as we think in terms of future career opportunities, we realize that IT ranks top. So let's kind of roll the time back just a little bit, just so that we can validate this athletic piece. But tell us some things about you as an athlete. I understand, and we met one another some time ago. Tell us about your athletic experience.
Well, yeah, I was a point guard, and I played some high school basketball and some semi-pro type basketball. And same thing, translating it from off the court to the business realm. I'm a team player.
Right.
You know, teamwork is everything. Even with my staff, I try to incorporate teamwork in everything that we do. So,
right,
from the basketball court to the conference room.
Absolutely. And that's really that's a nice graphic, if you will, because that's our goal with Coach RIX Winners. We're interested in developing the athlete of the future, is the way that we say it. And we realize that they're going to have to take those skills from all of those years of playing sports and playing as a team to taking them to, hopefully, the boardroom. And if I have anything to do with it, or the team has anything to do with it, then we'll make sure that both males and female athletes that we work with will be able to sit comfortably among any other business people and handle themselves well. So our goal is to work with them from A to Z. My wife has developed something we call the ABCs. The A is bring your A game. The B is plan B, obviously, and then that career transition piece. So let's kind of talk some more now really about drilling down and talking about your program. And there are a couple of components, because currently you are kind of straddling the fence, so to speak. You're in Chicago, is that correct?
That's correct.
And you're in Memphis, so we need to figure out a way that we can have you to coexist in both markets. But my understanding is you and your family are in the South area now.
That's correct.
And your goal is to launch your program as well as your business in the greater Memphis area.
That's correct. Currently, we're doing tremendous things in the Chicagoland area with mentoring youth through technology. So we have technology workshops for our youth, technology conferences, things of that nature, empowering our youth, inspiring them, educating them, and mentoring them with the use of technology. Over the last year, we've just moved here in the Mid-South area, and we're going to expand what we're doing in Chicago, here in the Memphis area.
Okay. I'm looking at your brochure, and it's quite intriguing. What I see here is a picture of a young man, and it appears that he's actually working on a robot. Is that correct?
Well, that actually is the one of our computer hardware workshops. But we do have some with them doing robotics as well.
Okay.
So that's one of our hands-on computer hardware workshops where we teach them how to build, rebuild computers from scratch, and repair, troubleshoot computers, things of that nature.
Now, what's the age group of the young people? Because what we're attempting to do is, our goal is to make sure that people know about mentoring youth through technology, number one. Number two, we want to find out how they can connect with you, how and where you are currently having some of your sessions, so that we can really open the floodgates for you and welcome you to the Mid-South the way we really should be doing that. So let's start by, what's the age group of the young people that you tend to work with?
The age group is 10 to 13 and 14 through 18. So we don't take them under 10. But so yeah, from 10 to 13 is that youth area, then the 14, 18 with our teens.
Okay. Now you mentioned earlier computers, robotics, and coding. Let's kind of walk through what the process is like. Let's say if I bring a young 13-year-old, for example, my nephew Wesley is 13 years old, has an incredible mind, and he's always wanting to learn things. He loves sports, but he's got an incredible mind. So let's say if I were to bring him over to your organization, how does the process go?
Well, we kind of see where his mindset is at with regards to what he wants to do, because we offer a number of things. If he gets involved in something like robotics, there's a lot that goes along with robotics. There's the programming and coding side of it, then there's the build side of it. So some of our teams that we put together for robotics, some of them are more stronger on the coding and robotics side, the coding side, and then some are good on the build side. So we kind of fill him out and see what area he's in, and then we kind of put him on that particular team.
Okay.
But it is a team environment. They work together as teams in everything that they do. So it's all teamwork.
Okay, great. We're going to take a real quick station break here and talk about how to get in contact with you. And we're going to do that often throughout the show, because before once it really gets good, then it's going to be time to go. So if someone wants to get in contact with you, and I'm hoping that there are a great number of people in this area that'll be interested in getting their young children and or relatives, like in our case, connected with you. So it's Randle Carter Sr., and how can someone get in contact with you, the best and easiest way?
They can go to our website, which is www.myttil.com.
Okay.
Or they can reach us by phone at area code 662-305-9777.
Okay.
Or they can just send us an email at info@myttil.com.
Okay, I'm going to be giving that information out some more and asking you to share that with us some more. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking with Mr. Randle Carter Sr. He's the Executive Director of Mentoring Youth Through Technology. He's had over 20 years in the information technology industry, and we're talking about his nonprofit for young people. However, there is a B2B side, there is a business side. Talk to us about the business side of your organization.
I have a consulting firm, Carter Consulting Group. We've been in business for 15 years now. We do network solutions, so network integrations, network implementations, disaster recovery planning, network security, things of that nature for small to medium businesses throughout the U.S.
Okay. Now, you and I have talked a bit about technology, and we've talked about the careers in technology. And just so the family members of our young people in the audience will know, as you explore the future in the workplace, what are some of the hottest careers that you've discovered thus far?
Thus far, robotics, coding, and network security are like the three biggest jobs that are out there at this particular time, and will be for the next 5 to 10 years or even longer, actually. I don't know if you saw it, but there was a report that came out that said over 45% of our workforce in the next 15 years is going to be robotics.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So what does that say about, and obviously it's a no-brainer question, but just for the sake of verbalizing, what does that say about our current day workforce?
Well, I mean, currently there's hundreds of thousands of jobs available in information technology currently right now. And over the next 5 years, there's expecting that to like triple to like millions, okay? So what we try to do is expose our youth to technology as a career, to get them involved in it as a career, because there's, once again, hundreds of thousands of jobs available to them, and they just hadn't been exposed to it.
What do you find as being the greatest challenge with getting our young people engaged?
Getting them engaged, I would say, that's a good question.
Yeah. Just actually getting them to you. Would it be typically, now, I know I'm a boomer. Fortunately, my wife and I are young at heart. But as I think about going back to Wesley, he's a 13-year-old, just, with incredible energy. Now, if I were a boomer that just didn't believe in all of that IT stuff, I probably would not be willing to get him involved. And I don't know how parents are embracing technology. Do you find that sometimes that's really the key? Because I find that in sports, a lot of times it's the parents that may hamstring, if you will, children, because they're either driving them too hard or not supporting them enough. Do you find that same thing to be true in technology?
Yeah, to some degree. One of our goals is to bring exposure to not only the youth but the parents as well.
Good.
To the possibilities that are out there. A lot of times they're just not aware of what's out there. It's just like sports.
Absolutely.
My son, he told me, I don't want to play baseball. I don't want to play. I said, well, you've never been exposed to it, so how are you going to say that you don't want to play?
Right.
When he got exposed to it,
Yeah.
it was hard. I had to pull him off the field. Literally, he wanted to go every day and practice and play.
Wow.
So it's just getting them exposure to it, and I think some of the parents are not aware of what's out there, what's available to their children as well with regards to technology. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, we're the biggest consumers of all of this technology. We have the iPads, we have the video games, we have all of these things, the phones and things of that nature. But it's one thing to have an iPad, but it's another thing to teach your kid how to build an app.
Absolutely.
It's another thing for to have a PlayStation or a game, but it's another thing to teach them how to develop a game for themselves or develop them for a company.
Yeah, and we do get stats about Americans being the greatest consumers, probably amongst those on the globe. The one thing that I would like to share with our audience is, okay, now I'm not an IT guy. Mr. Carter's an IT